Hey Algebra 2, if you missed the notes for the 5.6 lesson, it is about the quadratic formula and the discriminant. Unfortunately, you are not going to get the benefit of seeing the Pop Goes the Weasel song version of this. However, I did link it on my website, so take a look at that. It's kind of fun. Alright, so the quadratic formula is this. It is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, that being said, we don't want to use this a ton. Okay, this is a last-ditch effort tool if none of our other factoring methods have worked up to this point. The other thing you need to see with this is that in order to use it, our equation has to be in standard form. It cannot be in any other form. So when we look at this first example, notice it's not in standard form. I have to change it to be in standard form. Once it's here, I'm going to identify each of my coefficients. I've got my a, my b, and my c. At this point, it's just plugging in numbers. Negative is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 5, all over 2 times a, which is 2. And from here, it's can you simplify things down? Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16. This becomes 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40. So 16 plus 40 is 56. 2 times 2 is 4. This is, however, not how we are going to leave it. We are going to simplify that root down. So negative 4 plus or minus 56 is 7 times 8. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So we can pull a 2 out. We leave the 7 and the 2 in there as root 14. It's 4. But again, this is not how we are going to leave our answer. We're going to simplify it just a little further and pull out a 2 as well. So this becomes negative 2 plus or minus root 14 all over 2. We want to make it look as nice and as simple as possible. Then, of course, add your x at the end so I know it's your final solution. Okay. The next piece we have, again, we have to put it in standard form. Have to get everything on one side. Once we're here, our a, our b, and our c, I'm not going to write those out this time. Negative b is positive 4 plus or minus the square root. B squared is going to be negative 4 times negative 4. I'm going to start skipping a few of those steps so there's not as much, you have to work a little bit harder than I do. Over to a, which in this case 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, let's simplify it. 4 minus 16 minus 52 is negative 36. Let's simplify that again. That is a negative, so remember we have to take an I out and then take the root of whatever is left over. So in this case, we're going to have 4 plus or minus 6i over 2. Simplify it one step further, divide everything by 2, and you're going to get 2 plus or minus 3i. Throw the x back in there, and you're good to go. Again, this is a long process. It's very useful. It works with every quadratic, but I cannot always guarantee that it's going to be the fastest method. So try to use this one as a last-ditch effort if you can. All right, excuse me. If we hop down to the bottom of the page, we're going to start talking about something called the discriminant. And you can't see it very well here, but I'm going to rewrite it. The discriminant is everything inside of the square root. So it's everything inside here without the square root, of course. And one thing that we know is that if we have a value of a discriminant that is greater than 0, it's going to have 2 solutions. And these are going to be 2 real solutions that we can see. If our discriminant is equal to 0, it's only going to have 1 real solution that we can see. If our discriminant is less than 0, well then we have a negative number in our square root, and that's going to cause an issue. As you see up here, when we have a negative number in our square root, it's going to lead to an imaginary solution. And not just one imaginary solution, but it's actually going to lead to two, the plus version and the minus version. So this is going to lead to no reals or two imaginary. Didn't make the box big enough. So let's do this let's go over to the back side. In this equation, we use the discriminant and figure out. We can't find the solutions of the discriminant. We have to use the formula for that. We can find out how many solutions we should have. So let's do that. I'm going to rewrite discriminant. It's b squared minus 4ac. All right. B squared in this case is negative b squared minus 425 times 4. This is 400. This is 400. You get 400 minus 400. It equals 0. If we go back to our side, we'll see that anything with a just equal to 0 is going to give one real solution. So that's what I write. I say one real solution. In this case, if we were to graph this, it's going to rough sketch it. This way, the x-axis one time. It's going to be 4. So it'll look kind of like this. One real solution, and it's right. Let's keep going. This discriminant is going to be 2 squared minus times 1 times 6. It's going to be 4 minus 24. It's going to be 20. When the determinant is less than 0, we have a negative inside our square root. So we're gonna have imaginaries, or no reals, but most of the time have two imaginary. And this is our last one. We're gonna do b squared minus 4 times ac. And here we get 4, 12, we get 16. This is greater than 0, so we have two reals. Again, I just want to hit this point home. Look at this. We do not want to be using long drawn formula to fact. We either want to be doing the FOUT method, where we just put it down and say what multiplies by 3 and adds to positive 2, or we be doing the method. But we do not want doing the long drawn out quadratic form if we don't have to. And it should be that last ditch in your tool belt. All right. If you have any questions, let me know.